NBC Sports and the LPGA Tour proudly present this season-long race to the CME Globe. From Galloway, New Jersey, it's final round coverage of the ShopRite LPGA Classic, presented by Acer. Well, not too far away from the famed Atlantic City Boardwalk. The LPGA has been coming to this area for decades, and for nearly 40 years they've come here to Seaview, a Hugh Wilson, Donald Ross design. It is an absolute classic. Short but challenging, quirky, depends on the bounces. It can be a bit up and down out there, and from all over the Jersey Shore, they've come to watch the world's best in women's golf, a tournament where so many of the greats in the game have hoisted this trophy. Julie Inkster, Nancy Lopez, Annika Carter, and another major champion is making a major move today. Grant Boone, Morgan Pressel watching last year's AIG Women's Open champ Ashley Buhai.
Wanting to get off to a hot start to put some pressure on the overnight leader, Danny Holmquist, and she does just that.
At the end of the day, 3 shots back. In this second hole, you take apart all 3 days and be perfectly happy, but not Ash.
Now, this has been the hardest hole of the entire week. Nothing like a kick-in birdie on the second.
Get used to that, by the way, because you're going to see it again. After a par at the par 5 third, this was Buhai's second at the 4th.
Yeah, her ball striking has been wonderful this week. Yesterday hit 16 greens. It's tied for the most of anybody in the field all week.
So that was 3 birdies in 4 holes. So we know the ball striking has been sublime. How about the putter from off the back at 5?
He needs 5 putts through 6 holes.
And that even brought a smile to her face. And then after pars at 6 and 7, took a little something off here at 8.
Sit. I mean, straight down with the edge. That is just so good with her distance control and trajectory.
So 3 back when the day began, now 2 ahead of another major champion, winner in Evian back in 2014, Hyo-Joo Kim. There's Danny Holmquist, the 35-year-old Swede, trying to win for the first time. You got some new names up there that we haven't seen on a whole lot of first pages of leaderboards. Some rookies, Yan Lu of China and Su Bin-ju of Korea. And we've seen a handful of 64s, maybe giving us a sneak preview, Morgan, of what we're going to see today.
We know we've seen some low scores around this golf course.
Tom Abbott joins Morgan and me. Kay Cockrell and Karen Stupples are out on the course. A few of our furry friends. Final pair at the 8th. And Karen Stupples is watching Hyo-Joo Kim.
Her ball just narrowly missed a divot. It's from 72 yards and downwind, and getting it to dance nicely.
Shows you how good Ashley Buhai has been. Good shot from Hyo-Joo, but looks like near kick-in for Buhai. Tom Abbott at the 11th.
Yan Lu just had 3 birdies in a row coming into this par 3. This one leaking right. Got to be careful of the fescue around the green. Wow, flew it by about an inch, and now it's going to leave her a great look at another birdie to get it to 11 under par.
One of the big stories of the week is the 17-year-old from Germany, Chiara Neue. She began the day tied for 4th, 4 shots back, and Morgan, this is a player who at the age of 16 rallied to beat her hero Charlie Hull in a ladies European Tour event. She's had a great year on the LED this year, very first LPGA start, and there she is tied for 10th.
And I was talking to her caddy, very experienced caddy, John Colleen. He said she is just so excited to be out here for her first start in the United States on the LPGA Tour. Maybe some nerves to start the day, but 2 birdies in a row, that's gonna help maybe light the fire. She's not out of it yet. She's got lots of game.
Maybe the next big thing, the 6-foot German. To the 8th we go, and Danny Holmquist, Karen.
Well, and this putt is downwind, but it is, sorry, into the wind, but downhill.
The woman of the hour at the 9th.
So what are we trying to picture? 67. This is one. I like that. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Come on.
Not able to get to this par 5 in 2 because it's into the wind from the left, but a good solid 3-wood left her 77 yards to the hole, which is on the left-hand side of the screen. Just 4 paces left of the flag.
Focus. Feel with the wind in the left. Come on.
From out in the fairway, it looks like that flag is just kind of hanging on the green, and you know the green melts away beyond it and to the left.
Green got it. Left. Oh. Good shot, considering.
Experienced caddy Tanya Patterson on the bag. Through that one. Doesn't leave her a birdie try, but a little longer than she wanted to 8.
And a birdie try for Hyo-Joo Kim.
She's been burning the edges quite a bit today.
Quiet veteran from Korea, one of the very best putters, one of the best players in the world. Let's take you back to the 11th.
And here's the 25-year-old rookie from China, Yan Lu. This for 4 birdies in a row, get it to 11 under par. Came through the Epson Tour last year, finished 9th on their money list to earn her card. Just needed hitting, and she knew it. Still tough to predict a winner here at the ShopRite LPGA Classic. A lot of players that could get it done, but right now it is the AIG Women's Open champion from last summer, Ashley Buhai, leading by 2. Back at the 9th with the leader here at the ShopRite LPGA Classic, Ash Buhai. This for birdie. Going to go out in 5 under par with 2 pars at the par 5s. Leading by 2. Back to the tee, Hyo-Joo Kim.
Well, I imagine this might be a 3-shot hole for Hyo-Joo as well, as Bill was saying. This hole back into the wind and being off the little left as well. But straight as ever.
Good shape, and while we have a moment, let's go up to Morgan and Grant.
Tom, thanks. Welcome to another championship Sunday at the ShopRite LPGA Classic. We talked about all of the great players who have hoisted the trophy here through the years, and we've got another major champion at the top of the leaderboard in South Africa's Ashley Buhai. This is not really a surprise, is it, Morgan?
She's been playing some really wonderful golf. She finished 3rd at the Founders Cup just a few weeks ago. Last week finished with the final round 64 when she thought she was going to miss the cut. So finished with the top 10 last week. She and her coach, Doug Wood, found something at Founders Cup on the range while he was out. He's also out here this week, but he told me that she was getting a little bit too much into out with her path. The heel was leading, so they really worked a lot to clean up her path, and I think we're seeing that today in her ball striking, her absolutely flawless ball striking that we've seen so far. That has led to 5 birdies already just on the front 9. She has taken control of this championship.
You go back to this time last year, and we were talking about Ashley Buhai as a journeywoman. She'd been out here a decade, had not won. She wins at Muirfield, first time that the ladies had ever played the AIG Women's Open there. A couple of really nice wins around the world since then. How about the major champions who've done well here at Seaview? Is it a coincidence?
I think it's a tough golf course. It is a tough golf course. It makes you have to be patient. You really cannot force anything. We have seen it all week. If you try to force things out on this golf course, you will get into trouble quickly. And we know that one thing that Ashley can do is play links golf. I think back to playing at Muirfield. These are very similar conditions. Very windy, maybe not quite as windy as Muirfield, but firm and fast golf course. She handled adversity there really well, playing with the lead most of the day. We'll see what kind of adversity she might have to face here coming down the stretch on Sunday. Most champions end up having to handle some kind of adversity. So we'll see what this golf course will bring this afternoon.
Nana Kurtz-Manson, one of those players back in the pack trying to make a run, and she has done it. This is at the 18th. for her 8th birdie of the day, sprinkled in with a couple of bogeys. A 6-under par 65 for the first player from Denmark to win on the LPGA Tour. That was last year. Ash Buhai, 5 birdies on her first 9. She leads by 2. She began the day 3 back. She now leads by 2 on the tee at 10. Ashley Buhai.
Just a short par 4 downwind, hitting a fairway wood for accuracy. And also to stay well short of the fairway bunker on the left.
Okay, while we have a moment, let's get our Volunteers of America tournament summary from Tom Abbott.
Grant Rose Zhang still very much on people's minds after her performance at the Mizuho Americas Open. But what's next for the LPGA Tour's newest member? Well, the next time we see Rose will be at the KPMG Women's PGA Championship in 2 weeks' time here in New Jersey. She'll then play the US Women's Open the next week at the Dana Open in Toledo before heading to Europe for the Evian Championship and the AIG Women's Open, possibly squeezing in an appearance in Scotland between the two. With Rose now ranked 62nd in the Rolex rankings, her #1 spot in the amateur rankings has been taken by Ingrid Lindblad. Remember her from the US Women's Open. She leads the field at next week's Women's Amateur at Prince's in the south of England, with major championship exemptions on the line. And finally, do you want to be part of Solheim Cup history? Well, tickets are now on sale for the 2024 Solheim. Back-to-back Solheims on the way, remember, and in 24 it will be played in September at the Robert Trent Jones Golf Club just outside of Washington, D.C. All sorts of ticket options available. U.S. Armed Forces, active and retired, will receive free admission on practice days. Junior golfers get in for just $1 on those same practice days, with the money being donated to Girls Golf. Grant?
All right, Tom, thank you. Some don't need tickets, like the assistant captain, Morgan Pressel. Volunteers of America tournament summary. 2 back, Hyo-Joo Kim at the 9th.
And this one is chipping back into that wind.
Maybe for birdie. Meanwhile, Buhai at 10.
90. All right. Right.
Yeah, just a little sand wedge left. She's so good at manipulating these shots, and it's because of her exquisite timing. 77 yards to the hole. You can only see the top third of the flag as it's hidden by the mounding, fescue mounding covering the bunkers.
Easiest holes out on the course today, Kay, playing quite a bit under par. So she can dial it in again. Oh, she gets it to the top shelf.
Well, she has no idea how far it is from the hole.
It's going to be quick.
9 again, Tom.
Well, Danny Holmquist did well to get it to here. Haven't seen too many players challenging green with their second shots. This is for an eagle.
Yeah, she played a really nice low screaming 3-wood to get it to this point.
Okay, well, Danny will have that for a 3rd birdie of this first 9. Let's go to 12.
And Ayaka boot away. 3 straight top 4 finishes. 3rd here.
It's just, I mean, to have that consistency over so many different weeks, so many different golf courses, different conditions.
Yeah.
It's so impressive.
She'll have that to join Hyo-Joo Kim, pending what happens here at 9.
Hyo-Joo Kim to get it to 12 under par.
Well, what is interesting, Tom, there's a really, leaderboard that is right in your face. That's just to the left of the screen. So everybody knows where everybody stands right now. In the same time, there was a leaderboard back on the 5th green. But everybody knew where they stood, and Hyo-Joo had a putt of about the same length there, having just had a peek at the leaderboard, and she missed that one. So she knows that she's 2 back.
Finished 3rd last week in Korea. back the LPGA Tour. So she's in some good form. 2 back. Disappointed not to make the birdie there at the par 5 9.
On the tee at the 10th, the overnight leader. In fact, she led the first 2 days, Danny Holmquist.
And on these downwind holes, her strategy has to be to give herself a fuller shot into the greens.
Karen, how about these last 2 nights' sleep for Danny? An unusual position.
Well, it is, and she knows how important it is for her with regards to the CME points, the money list, and holding on to her status on tour. I mean, she's been up and down between LPGA Tour and Epsom Tour, and just trying to just cling on in there with as much status as she can get.
You see her tied for 2nd. And now Hyo-Joo Kim. Udaway did make her birdie, by the way. That tapped in at 12.
I think when you see Hyo-Joo with the driver here, she's not worried about how close she gets down there to the green. She's just taking that down into the skinniest portion, and I think it's going to run through.
With the whole location in the middle today, it's not going to be the end of the world with spin, but you can see she actually has a clear angle when she get it all the way down there.
Okay, would this be categorized as a bad shot for Ashley Buhai, given the way she's hit it today?
Yeah, I'd say she's been sticking those wedges in to within 3 feet. This is now a difficult putt. There's an old cup about halfway to the hole that she needs to go outside of, as this has some right to left break.
Went over it.
Didn't go quite outside of it enough.
She would have made it in that one, I think.
That'll leave her an easy tap-in par.
Clean scorecard as we take you to 13.
Yeah, big wide fairway here. Knock a foot away. 5 under for the day. I was talking to Kelly Tan, who played early this morning. Lead off at 20 past 8. She said the first 14, 15 holes, no breeze out there at all. Changed.
NBC Sports Championship season moved by Pods continues with the U.S. Open. Coverage begins Thursday. NBC USA and Peacock. LA Country Club, the North Course. Matthew Fitzpatrick, the defending champion. What'd you think when you saw it about a month ago?
Oh, it's fabulous. I had no expectations going in to that round. Fortunate to have the opportunity to play, but very quickly one of my all-time faves. It's going to be a fun week.
This is the 10th. You can see all the trouble around here. It's a short shot in, but like so many here on this, the shortest course on tour, you can get into some trouble. And as we take a look at Danny Holmquist, 35 years old. It's her 8th season on the LPGA Tour, as Karen mentioned, back and forth. 453 in the Rolex rankings. Rose Zhang was 482 when she won last week. That's the all-time LPGA record for lowest, but that was, of course, skewed by the fact that Rose had just turned pro. You just never know, Morgan. She'd missed every cut this year. Here she is leading through 2 days.
To have really no confidence in terms of missing every cut, it's tough for players who only get into full field events. There haven't been all of that many so far this year, and we're already in June.
Yeah, look at the contrast in this final pair. Hyo-Joo Kim never misses a cut. Danny Holmquist, 38% in her career.
And just to come out with the confidence that she's had this week. And sometimes golf is a funny game. You just find something.
Yeah, 107. Got to get into 102 right there.
I know, but it does kick this part here. We're looking at carry about here. So 107.
96.
96 is probably 54.
Yeah.
Because I think that, like, other one is a little too much, isn't it?
No, I like 54.
What's the front edge?
14 on, so you've only got 93 from it.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't even think you have to hit it a full 96.
Okay.
I think 90's good.
Yeah.
And at those 2 guys on the left, or for sure not right at that 10 sign.
Yep.
Okay, deep breath.
So if we had Donnie is on the fairway here, you cannot see the bottom of the flag. You can see the flag, but as you can tell from the comments from the caddy, the green will hit the ball to the right if you're left with that flag. Ball slightly above her feet.
Left. Left.
Oh, gets to stay just on the top of that first shelf.
13.
Udaway's second shot.
Hole location today on that top left, Tom. The toughest hole location to get it close to.
Good job. Oh, correct. Level. Winner last year in Scotland, as was Ashley Buhai. On the tee here at the 11th.
I got the signal this is a 5, so gotta be her 5 wood as opposed to 5 hybrid. 162 to the front, but that's playing at least 170, 75. Playing back into, actually that is your 5 hybrid, playing back into a very strong wind. That went very high.
Careful if it's heading right. I think it's short of the fescue there. Is it, Kay?
You could see it for a long time.
Yeah. There's a bank there. We'll have to get Kay to scamper up and have a look.
At the 10th, how about the live for Hyoju, Karen?
Well, it's not bad. There's a lot of grass on the right side of the ball, not much on the left.
Okay, so Buhai struggling to touch at 11. Hyoju Kim will have a tap-in birdie to get to 12.
Where Ashley Buhai finished. This is her second.
Very dodgy lie in between clumps of grass.
Played it so well, Kay.
Touch of class right there.
Just the rhythm in that, Tom. The very smooth. A lot of times when you get in the fescue, you try and hit it too hard. That was just beautiful rhythm.
Annie Holmquist missed her birdie putt. It's a tap in for Hyoju, so she gets within 1 of Buhai. Trying to save her par.
Hyoju just kind of doing what she did yesterday. Just hanging around, doing her thing, playing very steady golf.
Here's the 23-year-old from Kobe, Japan. Oh, running out of steam there. There with 8 wins on the LPGA Tour. Part of a very talented group of Japanese players.
LPGA USGA Girls Golf is on a mission to change the face of the game, and they're celebrating reaching nearly 1 million girls through their program. You can help continue to inspire the next generation of players. Go to girlsgolf.org and donate today. But maybe wasn't quite as dramatic as the bunker shot on the 4th playoff hole at Muirfield that led to her victory, but that was awfully impressive, Tom.
One of the great bunker shots we've seen at Muirfield in terms of the circumstances and what was at stake for Buhai, breaking through after so many years trying to win on the LPGA. She's had a lot of success on the Ladies European Tour, but in terms of the LPGA, you'd say, Kay, that she hasn't lived up to her talent and her potential in terms of LPGA golf.
I think that's safe to say, and especially considering she was somewhat of a teen prodigy down in South Africa, winning a lot of events at a very young age and setting some new historical standards down there. Beautiful little pitch shot, but now close to 6 feet to save the par.
Okay, to your point, I remember the very first time that I was paired with Ashley in the AIG Women's Open. She just played way too much break there, right where she was aiming. But it was Ashley, myself, and Annika Sorenstam for the first 2 rounds at St. Andrews in 2007. That was the first time I played in a professional event with Ashley, and she had just breaking onto the professional scene at that time.
Ashley Simon back then. David Buhai, trusted caddy. 6. Well, as they play the 11th, it's time for Aced It, presented by Acer. We look at maybe the most memorable hole-in-one this season. You go back to the third hole, NG Chun at the Chevron Championship, Morgan, with a lot on the line.
And they're playing for a celebrity challenge here. Not just a major championship on the line, but this was $1 million donated to the Chevron Charity Challenge.
And she said that made it even more meaningful. Take a look at the 5 aces. We had one this week, Mariah Stackhouse on the 7th hole earlier. Each time a hole-in-one is made on the LPGA Tour this year, you can follow Acer America on Twitter and Facebook for your chance to enter to win an Acer laptop. I mean, they've been going in all over CU this week. We've had a 1 on a par 3. We've had a 2 on a par 5 this week. A whole bunch of eagles. Let's see what happens here.
All of the aces receive a $20,000 donation from the CME group for St. Jude Research Hospital that is doing such great work and is very much in the minds of those in the CME group and many people on the LPGA Tour. And then time and time again when players make an ace, they're told about the donation and you can just see the delight in their face that they've been able to make a difference. Final pairing on the tee at 11.
When you think about what the players have faced the first 2 days, this hole been a little bit more downwind. Today, very much into the wind and off the right. Hole location 2 is a little bit more on the right side of this green as well. So it's more blocked out than we have seen in previous days. This is a 5-iron. And Hoyoji is very capable of keeping the ball down quite low. And I think she's going to need to do that with this club. Hole is playing 176 today.
Might break off.
Yeah, it's what Morgan was talking about earlier. You pitch it on the green, it goes through the back. Pitch it where Kyoju did, and it stays short of the green. It's very difficult to get the number right. Let's go to the 13th. This is a par putt here for foot away. She's only 1 behind. Costly 3-putt. A player who's been putting so well this year, hard to believe. Top Tracer technology presented by Progressive Insurance for Danny Holmquist. Tee shot here at the par 3 11th.
Also with a 5-iron, Tom, and the reason that going long is a big no-no is the fescue through the back there. It just comes into place so quickly. It's a higher trajectory.
That's a beauty. You're right.
Stop. Yeah, she did. She pitched it on the front of that green and it stopped. So wonderful shot there from what we've seen from Danny Holmquist. Give herself a birdie try.
After the bogey at 11, view high at 12.
Going with less than driver, fairway wood, wind blowing pretty hard right to left.
So her 2-shot lead is gone, tied with another major champion, Hyo Joo Kim. It's Championship Sunday at the ShopRite.
Back out at the 11th, Hyo Joo Kim putting for birdie.
This one, Tom, and it's back here, uphill all the way to the hole. And I think from this angle, I don't see it doing a great deal in terms of movement right to left. Just the biggest question is, can you give it enough speed to get it to the hole?
I'm gonna drop my bag in the
Doesn't seem to be worried about too much out here. Looks pretty calm about the whole ordeal.
That's kind of her MO, isn't it, Karen? Her and her caddy Les, they both have that kind of attitude and rhythm, which under pressure can work really, really nicely. Never get too up or too down either direction.
We talked about what's on the line for players like Brianna Doe after a 64 yesterday, her 2nd K.
That was with a sand wedge and a dandy. bogeyed the last hole, hoping to bounce back immediately.
Set 9 in between.
Would move her into a tie for 11th, her career best. A tie for 12th. 11.
Danny Holmquist, this great opportunity for Danny to tie the lead.
And I'll tell you what, I talk about Audrey Gill and her sort of not really worrying productive attitude. Danny too is kind of looked very calm out here too, in spite of being in some trouble earlier in the round. She still looks pretty chill out here.
In spite of never really having been in this position, Karen.
Exactly. Very comfortable with spin out here.
Love it. Love
View High tied for the lead, second at 12.
Very small target to the skinny green with the wind blowing across right to left. 90 yards to the hole. Needs to get down.
Sit.
It's just over that back tier. There's 3 tiers in this green. Comes up on top. That'll be a bit speedy coming down the hill.
Okay.
No gimme here, Tom.
No, need to be careful of these ones. Authority there from Yeoju Kim, so both players make par, and Yeoju remains tied for the lead with Ash View High here at the ShopRite LPGA Classic.
Ashley Buhai to regain the outright lead at 12.
5 birdies today, but the last one came at the 8th hole, so almost an hour ago.
Morgan, it's incredible. We talk about it, the shortest course on tour yet. Last year, 12 under 1, which for 3 days, I mean, it's an average of 400. It's not like these players are just tearing this course up.
You don't need length out here, and it shows that you don't need length necessarily for it to be a difficult golf course. It can be based on design and setup.
Anna Doe has this short putt for birdie to get to 8 under.
Yeah, actually made a birdie at the 10th to get there, dropped one at 11, regains it.
She's below American at the moment, tied for 11th at 8 under and 4 back. Talk about Lilia Vu.
Everyone just stand on the path, please. Stand, thank you.
Her family coming from Vietnam, same for Brianna Doe, grew up in Southern California like Lilia and went to UCLA like Lilia Vu. Now Ashley Buhai, this comebacker to stay 12 under.
Ashley's going to have to lean on her patience and ability to let a mistake roll off her back, which started working with a sports psychologist last summer before she won the AIG Women's Open, and it's really helped her be more consistent and not get bent out of shape when she makes a little mistake.
That was a big putt there after missing a shortish putt for par on the previous hole to save par there. Still very much in control of her emotions and her own game.
You said it, Morgan, just so hard to win out here, and Ashley Buhai, the 1 LPGA title, that was a big one at Deerfield last year, the AIG Women's Open, a couple of big ones since, the winner's 2nd LPGA title. Yan Liu of China in her first season on the LPGA Tour. She's got this for par at the 14th. To stay tied for 4th place. There is a bit of a bunching at the top of the leaderboard. You've got 10 players separated by just 3 shots.
This is an important putt with the wind change. This hole is howling right to left, making this right hole location very difficult to get it close to. This hole playing significantly more difficult today than it has the rest of the week so far. she knows in her spot. We're going to start to run out of holes. Still a difficult 15th upcoming as well.
At the 12th, Danny Holmquist began the day with the lead. Was down by as many as 3, but just 1 back now.
There's 105 left from here, and he's kind of had a habit today of leaving the little short shots and look it out to the right.
Just a little quick.
Yeah.
Called it there again, and Caddy said it, a little quick.
A little quick.
Just quick in the transition will tend to leave shots to the right, Karen.
Hyo-Joo Kim is next. Let's take a look at our KPMG insights. We've known this about Hyo-Joo for a long time. She's one of the very best putters in the world, but tee to green, Morgan. Numbers tell the story.
She's just really solid. She's a very effortless golf swing. Wonderful rhythm, not a lot of extra moving parts. Very much on plane, and when you have good plane and good tempo, there's not a lot of things that can go wrong.
No,
55 yards is what we see here, Karen.
Yeah, that's exactly what she's got. And when you talk about her game, the last few holes, 10th and now they hit a 12th. She's hit driver into the skinniest portion of the fairway to give herself these little numbers into these greens. And I think if you're well practiced from this distance, it takes some of the guesswork out of it, because you know you're not going to get that massive amount of check, and you can predict it more easily with bounce.
She didn't carry it far enough though there. To stay on the lower tier from 55 yards. She expected to be quite a bit more precise with that one.
Up 1 to 13.
Top Tracer technology presented by Progressive Insurance. Ashley View high at 13.
One of the longer, tougher par fours out here. Wind blowing left to right. Important to find the fairway.
Good shape. Since her win at the AIG Women's Open, she's won the Australian Open and the South African Open. She says she is very proud to be the title holder of 3 National Opens.
Just a moment ago at the 12th, the 3rd for Danny Holmquist.
And this was an awkward little pitch shot. I mean, she didn't have much green to use, but...
Soft.
Really don't know.
You could hear the thickness of that grass as her wedge cut through it. Beautiful shot right there.
We talked about it, Morgan. Has not made a cut this season.
This is just an astounding graphic, and you always feel like it's close. As a golfer, you're like, maybe it's just this one little thing, and every once in a while it all clicks. And that's exactly what has happened this week for Danny. It can be the golf course that you feel comfortable on, or just the slightest little thing with your swing or your putting that changes everything around.
Hyo-Joo Kim's birdie bid drifts past the cup. She'll have that par as we move ahead to 13.
Minimum, here, 17. 117. And back foot. Exactly. That's what I was thinking. Back foot. Because if anything, it's going to help. It's not going to hurt or anything. Okay? Because you're going to cover at least to the 5 or 6, and if it's back footing, it's going to come in with a little bit more on it. Okay? Yep. Exactly. You've got it, mate. Love it.
Again, tucking in meters. And going with the 9 iron, trying to land it 125 to 130. She has 140 to the hole. Plays a little uphill, but that wind helping off the left.
Now for her ball flight here, Kay, she's got to start this left at the left edge of the green to keep it on top of the slope.
Looks pretty good.
Down straight. Stay there.
Yeah, and the Patterson was hoping that it bounced straight and not right, because that would fall away to the lower level. But she's got a good look at birdie now.
This is a par putt for Hyo-Joo Kim.
Pretty solid from this distance. Was definitely a bit of a shocker because you don't often see her miss those.
Not from 55 yards to give up a shot. That feels like giving up 2.
Up ahead at the 18th. It's been a really solid year for Alben Valenzuela. Put herself in contention at the Chevron Championship, major of the year, and drips that in at 18 for a 66. She goes from 16th place into a tie for 5th. It won't be enough to get that trophy, but another good week. Player from Switzerland.
Back on the tee at the 13th, Danny Holmquist.
Wide fairway here, Tom. Wind off the left. If you get this one going a little bit down the right side, you're going to catch that down grain grass. You're going to be a bit more roll.
Danny certainly gives it a rip. That is going to stay in the fairway. Now, Hyo-Joo Kim.
Doesn't get the same kind of pop out of her swing as Danny does, but obviously incredibly steady.
And that'll be a good angle into this left hole location from the right side over there, especially with the wind howling off the left.
This is Chiara Neue, the 17-year-old from Germany, and this is for par.
That's a big putt right there at Grant. Looking, she gets in the top 10. She'll get into, you can see the relief on her face there. She'll get into Meyer next week.
Which will bring you here on Golf Channel and Peacock, beginning at 3 o'clock Eastern time. Always, in recent years at least, played against the Men's U.S. Open and a Father's Day finish. So you got the 17-year-old and the older guard, including Ashley Buhai.
You've got 3 players vying for the 2 spots for next week. Haru Nomura, Chiara Neue, and Brianna Doe. And we get really into the regulations. If one of them doesn't want to take the spot, do the other 2 get it, or do they not qualify?
Yeah, the other 2 would get it. It's only 2, though. You're right.
Buhai now for a birdie. This could go a long way come the end of the day.
Yeah, it's hard to get it up here on that same level when the hole's left on the upper tier. Much easier when it's on the right-hand side of the screen on the lower level. Got a pretty good read off of Brianna Doe's putt from the front of the green. So knows this may not go as much left to right than you'd originally think.
Oh, what a moment to make a birdie. The statement from Ashley Buhai. And she is back to 13 under par and a 2-shot lead.
Kind of came out of nowhere. Both of those, the 3-putt from Hyo-Joo and the birdie from Buhai.
Yan Liu here for birdie at 15. Par 3s at 11, 15, and 17.
Just a moment ago at the 14th, the Taya Titakun, who has not really made a move today like we wondered if she would. She struggled a bit on Sunday last week as well.
Get in. Get in.
This is not much of a struggle. In fact, this is in. A Taya Titakun, an eagle too.
Yeah.
What a shot. And just another Sunday really in a good position to win. Not being able to make the most of the opportunity, but here's one for the highlight reel.
Began the day 4 behind Holmquist. She's back to
good?
even. And look at that look on her face. Like, seriously?
It's just frustrating as a golfer, but the 4th hardest hole out here on this golf course, this 14th. It's brutal. What an eagle. Only been 3 birdies
Flagpole
for the whole day.
Yeah.
Holmquist second at 13.
She's got 141 to this hole, but when you've got a flag on the left side of the green and the wind blowing from the left, makes it really difficult to get it close. She's on a little bit of an upslope here. She can't really feel the wind because it's sheltered from her by little copse of twigs right behind her.
Left. Left. Better set. Maybe into the longer grass, not the big fescue, but rough there behind the green. The tee at the 14th.
She was up 2, then tied, and she's up 2 again. Buhai.
Comfortable wind to play on this hole today, with it blowing right to left.
That is just so smooth, Kay. What a beautiful golf swing. She just never looks flustered with the wind, with the lead, not having the lead, any of it. Just so in control today.
Go Jude, 13th.
Working quite hard with her caddy Les on, trying to figure out where this wind's actually coming from. And Morgan, you're right, much better angles coming to this left flag from the right side of the fairway here. This is a 9-iron. It's 134 to that hole, plays up 3 yards. And this is going to drift to the right as well.
Doesn't like it. It's going to leave her a bit more work, and we can deal with that ridge in the middle of the green. Ashley Buhai made light work of this green with the birdie putt to take it to 13 under par and a 2-shot lead. 64 in the last round last week. She's looking to win this week. Where Danny Palmquist ball finished behind 13, her third.
Quite sticky grass Tom at the back here for her. Back into the wind.
Just died a bit on that fringe.
Couldn't carry it nearly far enough. Chipping back up the hill.
Go back to the 16th and check in on Ayaka Budaway. She had a costly 3-putt Sunday last week at the 12th hole at Liberty National. Will this come back down?
How does that stay up there?
Hey, let's stay tuned. By the time we get back there, maybe it will have drifted back. 13.
Yeoju Kim putting for birdie, but having to deal with a bit of slope in the screen.
There is a bit of slope there, Tom, but it's one of those putts that when you're actually there, it's not as bad as you think it is. You just have to get the speed right going up that hill. It's not like it's a really long, steep slope. It's just a little short slope that you just have to deal with. It's going to break a little bit to the right as it goes up that hill.
Giving it a go. Good putt in the end. Ahead to the 14th.
And Brianna Doe with her second.
This is a tough hole location today to get close to with that wind blowing right to left and the hole location hugging the right-hand side. Lofted hybrid, going right at it. But we're just coming in with too much steam.
And the whole back of the screen slopes away. This is just part of what is making this 14th hole so difficult today.
Coming off a career low round 64 yesterday, looking for a career best finish. Yan Lu of China, second at 16. Budaway's ball hasn't come back down. Don't think it will. Nobody could get it on that middle shelf yesterday. And then when Budaway didn't want to, she did.
That putt is going to be brutal.
Leading by 2, Ashley Buhai at 14.
She hit her drive so strongly, she actually is on a little bit of a down slope. 136 to the front. Looking to land this, probably just a pace or two on. That was solidly struck.
Oh, you're good. That was nicely done. Took a pretty firm bounce, but she couldn't have landed that in a much better position. If she lands it just short, it's going to stay.
13.
Going to scramble a par here, Danny Holmquist.
Working hard at this one.
Misread there.
Is putter too much club here for Foodaway at 16?
Just tap it, get it started. The hard thing is keeping it on your line when it's that fast, especially to start. That was well done.
So the 3-putt last week on Sunday at Liberty National, had a 3-putt today. Has hurt her cause. 13.
Adrian missed a similar length putt back on the 11th, but no problem there. So she will stay at 11 under par. This is Chiara Neuer, another player trying to get into the top 10 by the end of the day, which would potentially give her a spot in the field next week. She's not a member of the LPGA Tour. She plays on the Ladies European Tour, but she may well take that spot at the Maya LPGA Classic if she were to qualify. There are 3 players vying for 2 spots, finishing inside the top 10. Haru Nomura's already finished. She's at a tie for 5th. Then you've got Brianna Doe and Chiara Neuer tied for 10th. Brianna Doe is entered for the Monday qualifier tomorrow, which starts at 1 o'clock in Grand Rapids. So she's playing for quite a bit, as Brianna Doe.
And now Hyo-Joo Kim in that final pair with Danny Holmquist 2 behind Ashley Buhai on the tee here at the 14th.
Well, we heard Kerry say that this is a comfortable tee shot for the players today, mainly because the wind direction is kind of helping and from the right. And we've seen a number of players miss this fairway right because it just appears that that's the line to Texas. Helps push the ball down more towards the left side of the fairway.
Good start for Hyo-Joo. Danny Holmquist. This is a position with which she is not familiar. Final pair leading on a Sunday at an LPGA Tour event. The win for the first time. Tie for 7th with best finish 5 years ago up in Wisconsin. She has hung in there, but now 3 back with 5 to play.
Well, with this wind direction, this is the direction that she's had issues with the driveway. She has had a tendency to overdraw it, and it goes a little bit left, riding the wind.
This one, trying to get this one to draw off the wind. As we talked about yesterday, there's not as much room off the right as it might appear from the tee. It's a blind tee shot.
All right, Ashley Buhai playing the 14th hole, trying to win. Meanwhile, her husband, David Buhai, here he comes. I mean, the guy's working hard.
That may be one of the funniest things I've ever seen on the golf course.
What's behind door number 1? It was not quite the...
I can't wait till she sees that video on social media.
Same dash onto the green as he did at Muirfield. He came to embrace her after she outlasted In-Ji Chun. That was a moment of levity for David.
I'm sure we'll see David out here in 15-20 minutes or so, watching him to see how his wife finishes out this tournament.
I want him to stay underneath the grandstand as she comes up 18 and do the same thing he just did. That would be a surprise.
He was so nervous, Kay, watching her at the AIG. I think he may stop at the concession stand before making his way out to watch.
He's not a good spectator.
It's hard, isn't it? Talked to a lot of family members out here watching their loved ones. It's harder to watch than it is to play sometimes. So Buhai here with Leeds Bay behind her, trying to come from back in the pack and win for the 2nd time. And how about this birdie putt?
Yeah, this is a really good look at birdie. 25-footer, back uphill with just a little bit of right to left movement. Very makeable.
The way she's putting today, Kay, they seem to all be makeable. She spent some time last week with Gareth Raflewski talking a lot about putting on this Poana green, which talk about being such a difficult surface. But she increased her ball speed a bit and to get more forward roll. And we've seen her more aggressive putting style this week than I think we're used to seeing in the past, okay?
Well, it's paying off this week, and it could very well pay off at Pebble Beach, which are Poana greens.
Yan Liu at the 16th to join the tie for third. Rookie on the LPGA Tour. We've already had Roning Yin of China win in LA earlier this season. Yan Liu not out of it. 3 back. At the 14th, Hyoju Kim, second shot.
Oh, and she has a 7-iron out here. The wind is off the right and helping. The flag location tucked on that right side. Difficult to get this one close. Holmquist already played her shot. Sorry, Morgan, and she is on the green on the left.
We've seen so many shots land short of these greens and not bounce forward. That was well done.
15th tee. Top tracer technology presented by Progressive Insurance. You see this tee box juts right out into the reeds.
Several of these par 3s out here are quite stout and challenging. This one included. 193 to the hole, 175 to the front.
The whole number is still? The whole number is 80. Okay.
And remember, they work in meters. She wants to land this 5 paces on 180, and it's just a matter of how much this wind is helping. It's uphill, but at least a club help. Solidly struck, right of the flag. Anywhere on the green is good news.
Yeah, that's a safe shot over there. Not surprised to see it a little bit right of the flag. That bunker on the left is really, really tough.
Husband David caddying for Lee 6. Him crawling out from under the grandstand a moment ago. This for Lee 6 came here the week after winning the U.S. Open in 2019, had the lead going into Sunday, and on this 18th hole, Lexi Thompson rolled in an eagle putt to knock her off. That remains Lexi's last victory. There's David. He looks okay. His hair got all messed up, crawling around under there. Now he can watch and see what his wife Ashley can do here. At the 14th, Danny Holmquist.
This is one of those putts. It's uphill pretty much all the way to the hole, but in the course of that uphill, there's a couple of little undulations across the way. These greens are very old, and they have a number of different breaks and undulations that you have to negotiate, and all adds up to judging speed is crucially important, with it being into the wind as well.
Had to go back to the Epson Tour after 2021. She finished 16th on the money list. That got her all the way to Q Series, where she finished tied for 21st. 122nd start on the LPGA Tour for the first time, leading going into a final round.
I'll tell you one thing she does that nobody else that I've known has done on the LPGA Tour, and that's fly helicopters.
Yeah. The blade here. Oh, he rolls it in. That'll be for par. As we remind you that a new episode of Drive On LPGA All Access drops tomorrow. Go behind the scenes with Angel Yen and Brittany Lincecum, and you can check it out on the LPGA's social media channels. Good look at the 14th and Gyoju Kim, 2 back. Think about Karen and Morgan, her victories. You all were talking about what a steady player she is and how dependable she is, and a swing that doesn't seem to ever get out of whack. She's won in Hawaii, Singapore, the Bahamas. She won in Phoenix, and she won Evian. That's just her LPGA victories.
Yeah, differently her game travels. All different kinds of golf courses, all different styles of golf required. I think really today the difference being is that she just hasn't got anything going with the putter. She's been burning the edges, and I think it's just been one of those kind of ho-hum days. I mean, there's just been a little lack of adrenaline, a little lack of fire going on here for her, and just nothing has happened.
What you see, though, Karen, the players who win are the ones who make the putts. And what has happened with Ashley Buhai today, she has made, not only hit it close, but she has made some really, really solid birdie putts. And the hot putter is usually the one who wins come Sunday afternoon.
Especially at the majors, which those have won. This is Kiara Noya.
Right there. Go! Go!
To get into the top 10. Actually, she's currently tied for 10th. Remember, it's only been a couple of years that non-members could take advantage of that top 10 ruling. It wasn't until last year that a non-member would have that opportunity to finish in the top 10 and play the next full field event.
A few times we've seen her putt today for birdie, they just looked a little tentative. And when you know that you have to finish in the top 10 to play next week, that's on your mind. Things get a little bit tighter.
Holmquist now for her par to stay 3 back.
And I think, you know, if you're Danny, you really kind of, you're just happy with, you know, what you're doing. Obviously, we'd like to go ahead and get a victory, but when you haven't been in this situation, she's handling the occasion quite nicely, to be honest.
Couple over today. 4 back with 4 to go.
Looking down at the 15th green, Ashley Buhai has a birdie putt here to give herself a bit of a cushion, comfortable cushion with 3 holes to play.
She just looks so in control of her golf game, and it reminds me of last year when she won at Muirfield, particularly round 2, where she shot 65, set a course record, and then broke her own course record on Saturday. I followed her that day on Saturday, and she birdied 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, and all those putts, Morgan, were inside 3 feet. She was hitting it that good.
That sounds familiar to what we've seen today, Kay.
Yeah, and this is a link-style course with the wind up. Now, nowhere near Muirfield in its length and difficulty, but a similar feel and a similar game she's bringing to the table today.
She's just looked also very in control of her demeanor on the golf course, not just her golf ball. And she has made a bogey like she did at 11, didn't let that rattle her. Just stayed very much in the present.
She's going to go and tap in. I don't think Brianna realised that, but she's just going to get out of her way and leave the ball on the green. Very rare that you see 2 balls on the green in professional golf and players putt.
It is time now for Better Alignment, presented by Versa from Odyssey. Let's take a look at a couple of the rare long putts that Ashley Buhai has had today. This was at the 5th. going. Not hit the stick. And then, after she'd been caught by Hyoju Kim, Hyoju 3-putted 12 just as this was happening at 13. And that gave her the 2-shot lead back. Better alignment presented by Versa from Odyssey.
Brianna Doe did make that putt, by the way, so she saved par there and stays in a tie for 13th. Remember, she's looking at a top 10 finish to try and get into next week. Now back to the tee at the 15th and the final pairing down there.
Well, we know how much the...
We got a good, probably, or at least 5 or 6 of wind up there, so that's going to put us like around 55, 57 where we're trying to land it. Okay.
So this is a 5-iron, Yogi. And her laser caddy is only 5 or 6 of wind. I think it could be, can be played a little bit more than that, but Yoju has a lower ball flight, so the wind isn't going to quite affect her ball as much as some of the other players, hence that number.
Looked a little uncomfortable with this there, Karen, and then stepped in and didn't go through her routine.
No, and this one's going to be a little bit to the right side of the green.
Yeah, that was a bit odd that she didn't regather herself before walking into that shot after having a bit of confusion.
Right. The lead remains 2 for Ashley Buhai, who has not missed a fairway today, as we see here on the tee at 16.
You trying to jinx her now, Grant?
No, I don't think she's susceptible to any announcer jinx.
I think she's going to give this a little more room, and she'd even be okay if this went into the left rough, because the wind is blowing strongly left to right. And the worst place to hit it here, you cannot hit it, miss it right.
She should have enough. Should get over that right bunker. If she does miss it a little bit to the right, but this hole should set up really nicely for her little fade that she likes to hit.
And that was dead solid perfect.
13 for 13. Avoids any divot hole. Yeah, she's smiling now. Up by 2, coming down the stretch. Making our way toward another exciting finish at the ShopRite LPGA Classic, the 35th playing here along the Jersey Shore. Grant Boone, Morgan Pressel, Tom Abbott, Kay Cockrell, Karen Stupples following our final pair. A day that has seen Ashley Buhai come from 3 back to open up a 2-shot lead as we come down the stretch across the bay from Atlantic City. This is the 15th.
It's Hyoju Kim 2 back. Just missed the green on the right.
This is a little bit awkward, Tom. She's on an upslope, but the ball is actually sitting down and the grass is growing towards her. There's a little bit of wind off the left, and she's going to pitch this onto a downslope. So she's got quite a bit going on. She's got to pick a good spot. She's got to make sure that she gets clean contact. She's playing it back in her stance a little bit to do that. See how sticky that was, the way the club kind of got stuck in the grass, but she's judged that fairly well.
That was slower than I thought it would be. I thought it would release a little bit more coming down that slope. Well done.
The youngster Kiara Neuer chipping for a birdie. Remember, she's trying to get inside the top 10. You can see this. She's currently 11th. A birdie would go a long way. Oh, try there. It's only her second time playing in the US. She played the Ramco Series event on the LET. So limited experience over here, and you've got to say it's a fine performance from the young German. Now back over to 15. And Holmquist chipping from, is it chipping or putting from behind the green?
She's putting. Has the putter out. And you could conceivably chip this one quite comfortably, but obviously fairly confident that this is the club.
Yeah, it was blocked. lot of Poana fringe to putt through.
Brianna Doe. Second shot at 16.
Taking a good bit of time on this shot. Every shot so important to her at this point in her career. Trying desperately to get inside the top 10. 122 yards to the hole. Can use the backstop beyond this hole location to help feed it down, but yeah, that little wide right. Not as accurate a shot as she was looking for.
I think she needs 3 birdies here.
100%.
2 birdies and an eagle. She needs to birdie
Okay, and it's
all
still
3 of the closing
going
holes.
to be a little
She needs
bit
to
off
get
the
to
left.
10.
Straight at it. Okay, come on. Perfect.
Now Buhai.
With that really strong drive down the left-hand side and an easy hole location right up front here. Shouldn't have any problem getting this at least within 20 feet. Would probably be considered a bad shot.
Oh, yeah, it's set. And so that to get to 14 under as we take you back to the 15.
Kenny Holmquist battling away this for a par.
Well, and every single one of these counts for her in terms of money list, points.
Yeah, well
that was
done.
great. Yeah, great putt there.
This player's only had 1 top 10 finish in her entire career.
Yan Lu at the 18th to get to 11 under. And that establishes a new lead among those who have finished.
What a finish. Wonderful Sunday performance. Beautiful, aggressive stroke there for a young player. Really her first time in contention.
2 best finishes in a rookie season for Yan Lu back-to-back here in Jersey. 15.
Hyoju not comfortable with something. Maybe the ball just oscillating there, Karen?
No, I think there was just a bit of a wind gust that kind of took her a bit off guard. She kind of went in and then she's like, oh, wait a minute, that wind doesn't feel quite good.
Yeah, that'll feel good, knocking it in. 2 back. Needs to make something happen here over the final 3 holes. We're just a few miles away from Atlantic City.
Ashley Buhai at the 16th for a 3-shot lead.
This is a ticklish putt downhill, and it's going to snap pretty hard to the left. Oh, boy, it didn't move as much as I thought.
Almost wiggled right in the middle there, Kay. That was odd.
That was a head scratcher right there.
That's one where you just have to say, you guys both obviously saw the same thing. I hit a good putt. That was all I could do.
And after the par save at 15, Hyoju Kim on the tee at 16.
Wind off the left. Just trying to knock this one down the fairway and give herself a chance, and she has done just that.
Might run through here. Nope, it's going to stay. She was trying to get a little more cut on that shot than what she ended up with.
And we saw the second shot of Brianna Doe drip onto the front of the green. This was where her birdie putt came to rest, so this for par.
I'm really disappointed with her effort. She kind of shook her head. It just was a combination of lack of speed and just maybe a little decel.
It's that tentativeness that we see, Kay, from when players get nervous, they get tentative. It happens time and time again.
It's not a fun viewing, is it?
So Doe keeps hope alive for getting into the top 10 as we take you to 17.
Yeah, the short par 3, 106 yards today. Flag towards the front of the green. It's the shortest that it's played all week.
Yeah, just 8 paces on Tom. And this is a hole you feel like you should birdie every single time you play it because it's so short, but it's tricky. And with this wind today, which is hurting, you're going to have to really be confident with the club selection and how you want to hit this shot.
Even if it's 8, that's 104 hole. It's nothing like a 103 shot. Okay. Alright. Still just slightly off the left, like at 11, yeah? Right, come on.
Yeah, that wind, I think.
Picture 94, Fred. Right. Pitch number. Alright. Trust
I
it.
think it's predominantly hurting, but off the left, which that quartering wind is always just makes you feel uncomfortable. Trying to keep this below the hole ideally. Another smooth tempo swing.
Yeah, that's all she needed to do. Give herself a good look at birdie.
An unusual shot where we saw her off balance at the end, but that's not a bad lead.
Putting the pressure on Hyo-Joo Kim, who has to make a little something happen here with Buhai on the green putting for birdie, and then the reachable par 5 18th to come. This is Hyo-Joo's second at 16.
Well, I think if you're Hyo-Joo, you've got to be looking at birdieing out from here. No question about it. Has a wedge in her hand from 124. Wind is off the left, and ideally, you don't really want to go above this hole. It is going to be tricky if you do so. Oh, that was very lackluster. Absolutely no reason for that miss.
That was pretty much shocking from Hyo-Joo, who's been so calm and in control with her golf swing all day.
Hook down at the 16th where Hyo-Joo Kim has missed the green. Certainly has to get up and down. Might need to hole it. Have a good chance to win with Ashley Buhai up ahead of her at 17 with a birdie putt.
And this one I don't think is going to break a huge amount. The first thought is that it's going to kick quite a bit to the left, but I don't think it's going to do much. I mean, I'm also more going to have to wonder. I mean, we talked about her coming over from Korea, having just finished a 3rd place on the LPGA Tour. I wonder if this is just maybe a little bit of jet lag appearing here. Or a little tiredness.
Trying to stay mentally focused when tiredness does creep in. That can sometimes affect you even more mentally than it does physically. You make some sloppy errors. That chip looked like a little bit of a mental mistake more than anything, not carrying it quite far enough.
She was in contention. That was her home sponsor event, so a lot going on for her, and then right back to the U.S. 17.
Big putt here for Brianna Doe. It's for birdie.
A couple birdies on this backside at 10 and 12, but unfortunately 2 bogeys sandwiched in. This has right to left movement to it. Needs a little bit of magic here. No. Oh, goodness. Wrong with the read, and the speed got away from her. And I don't think she's going to be able to get to 18 and 2.
Trying to force that 1K there. That's run the risk around here, leave a few short, and then knowing you're up against the wall, gotta whack that one.
Danny Holmquist for birdie at 16.
This one just a bit on that downhill side. I think it just appears quicker than it actually is.
a player who had not made a cut all season. Sunday won't be what she wanted, I don't think. That's clear. But still a chance for something memorable for Danny.
Back over to the 17th. Buhai to really put some daylight between herself and Hyo-Joo Kim. Yan Lu already in the clubhouse.
Well, there's a big leaderboard right in short left of this green, so I'm sure either she or definitely her caddy knows that she has a 2-shot cushion, and although she's trying to make this putt, I would see this potentially being a little bit short. No need to run it well by. It's actually a pretty level putt. Should be easy to control the speed.
Especially after watching your opponent misjudge the pace so poorly right ahead of you. Yeah, there you called it, Kay.
This is the player in Ashley Buhai is playing maybe the best golf of her career. You look over the last 12 months, this will be her 4th worldwide win as we get back to 16.
And Hyo-Joo Kim for par. Always been a good putter ever since she won Evian 2014.
2 really solid putts there on 15 and 16. Something special still is possible here on 17 and 18.
No question.
This has to go in for Brianna Do.
She made one of a similar length on the 15th hole to save par. And I tell you, her short game has let her down a few times today. 3 times on this back 9, failing to get up and down. Really not very difficult. Well, that was a 3-putt, but she failed to get up and down twice on holes that she missed the green. And usually her short game is solid.
Just a short one here for Buhai to clean up and stay at 13 under par, but late in the day, as we've talked about many times over the years, these Pearl greens, you've got to be careful. Yeah. So Buhai will head to the 54th hole. Remember, this is just a 3-round event with a 2-shot lead, and this is a tribute to the military here at the 17th, and we have 2 retired military personnel tending the flag. Chief Warrant Officer Trevor Jenny, and then with the service dog there, Sergeant First Class John Hinker. They will salute the flag, as they have done all day today. So we thank those 2 for their service, and I think they've really enjoyed being here and watching the golf. I was chatting to Trevor earlier today. Got a good seat there right by the green.
6 wins.
That's what it looks like from behind the tee. And Hyo-Joo Kim back there.
It's a tough hole, Tom. I mean, it's only short, 106 yards. But back into the wind. Very easy to get the ball rising into the wind because of the direction of it. This is going to be a pitching wedge.
Find a spot on the tee box that she likes.
I mean, if you go on the left side of the tee, which was obviously her preference, the ball is actually above your feet. It's kind of crowned, so the right side of the tee box is the flatter side. Just got to try and keep this one down if you can. Just don't let it ride at the putt face.
She's going to like the result.
Couldn't quite figure out why she turned away so quickly, almost as if she didn't like it, but got some sand maybe blown back in her face from the divot.
Kiara Noya needs to make this to get into the top 10 for birdie at 18. We'll see what happens with Holmquist. She could actually get into the top 10 if Holmquist struggles down the stretch the last couple of holes. But what an LPGA debut for the 17-year-old winner on the LET.
Holmquist tee shot here at 17.
That's a wedge.
Gonna stay there. Okay. The 18.
And this was just a moment ago. Ataya Titikun. She's holed out ready for an eagle at the 14th here.
The wind switch this hole much more challenging to get to the green in 2. Ataya's got so much wind.
That's maybe the second best second shot on the par 5 here this week. Riley Rennell had an albatross in round 1. And now Ashley Buhai leading by 2. Gyoju Kim has a birdie putt to come at 17.
Ash does not have Ataya Titikun's length, and this tee shot is a beast right now. That wind has ratcheted up significantly. It's at least a club and a half, bordering on 2-club wind, hurting.
Hasn't missed a fairway all day.
It doesn't look like she's going to miss one here. That was a gorgeous drive. That patented low trajectory, little power fade.
What a solid golf swing. She has looked so comfortable off the tee. Not one of the longer hitters. That's not one of her strengths, but wow, her accuracy today on a golf course that has a lot of trouble if you do miss the fairway. It's the reason why she's played so well out here today.
See the wind, what it's doing.
Yeah,
17 Tom.
Yeah, it's kind of getting stronger as the day has gone on. Danny Holmquist has had an interesting career. Some strange things have happened to her over the years. And back in 2013, she was trying to qualify for the Australian Open. She got bitten by what we believe to be a redback spider during a qualifying round, then used a golf tee to squeeze out the venom and continued playing on. She shot 74 but didn't end up qualifying. And then in 2018, in an LPGA event in China, she was injured in a golf cart crash with one of the shuttles on the golf course, with the driver losing control on a steep hill and driving into a wall. So she's had a couple of strange instances over her career, and that golf cart crash hurt her back, which didn't help her career, Karen. And she's, as you say, away from the golf course, a helicopter pilot. She's a sommelier. She's got a lot going on.
Yes, she does, and I don't think you can really underestimate just how much having a bad back and trying to play golf, the two things just don't go hand in hand at all.
I think it just bobbled right off the face, and it took that little bit of pace out of the putt. Well, if she can birdie the last hole, and with her length, she's got a good chance to break out of this big tie for 5th. There are 6 players right now tied for 5th, so if she could get into the tie for 4th at 10 under par, there would be a big change in the money that she's going to be taking home. So obviously all those 5th place players would share 5th through 10th place prize fund.
She's a player, Tom, that's made less than $500,000 in her career, to your point.
Big difference. Paid for a few more helicopter lessons. Now, Gyoju Kim, for a birdie that will get her within one of the lead. This could be spicy right here, Karen.
It really could. And when you think about her round time, I mean, she hasn't made anything all day today. It would just be kind of fitting for Sandra Fuder's caliber to go ahead and make this and keep things really interesting coming down the last. As you were saying, you cannot miss what's going on the golf course. The leaderboard is just hanging out right there.
She's a proven champion, and this is not over yet. One behind, heading to the par 5 final hole.
Ty Titicoon made her eagle up ahead at 18, and now Ashley Buhai up 1.
With that strong drive, a chance to get there in 2, hitting a nice low trajectory shot, just has to keep it straight here. Because Morgan, you know there's trouble with the heather and the bunkers left and right.
That was a big false front. She's going to have to negotiate here with this pitch shot. More severe on the right side, but it's not a bad leave. And 2 pretty big shots from into a severe win there for Ash to get close to 2.
Now Brianna Doe with Cici Rosa, former Ladies European Tour player, on her bag. First LAT member from Hungary, so she has been in the hunt. Knows what it's like. How about Brianna's predicament here?
Taking a leaf off the cart path.
I like the 3-wood off the cart path, honestly. I think he has a chance to even...
I'm looking at her.
Actually, deciding not to take the lead because where she would be dropping it is in a pretty good amount of thick rough. And this lie is actually good. It's, you know what you're doing with Morgan. No question mark here.
Yeah, the only thing, when you are hitting such a long club on an unstable stance footing, could potentially slip. So don't want to swing full tilted this one. Want to stay really solid with your lower body.
Caught that one solidly down the right side.
Just barely carries the fescue in those cross bunkers, but that was well done there.
Chance for a career best finish for Doe. I'm just thinking back to 9 days ago, Morgan. I spotted Ashley Buhai on Friday afternoon right by the ferry terminal across the water from Liberty National. She had bogeyed the last hole. She was 2 over. She thought she was going to miss the cut. Remember, it was tied 50, top 50 in ties. And what happened? She just got into the weekend, shot 64, tied for 7th, and now a week later has a chance to win.
Never know, just the little breaks and bounces and what kind of confidence that can give a player. And Ash said she felt like she found something on the range at Founders Cup, finished 3rd there. She's had 5 top 10s this season. She's played really solidly, but she hasn't quite been in this position in the lead with a real chance to win until today. And she has played brilliantly on a tough day with a lot of wind out here on this quirky golf course.
Well, the plot has thickened after the birdie from Kyoju Ken at 17. 1 back on the tee here at the par 5 18.
Needs to keep that great rhythm on this swing here. And she has done just that. And this one's going to be nicely in play down the right half of the fairway.
There's just been so many playoffs already this year on the LPGA Tour. Are we going to have another one, Grant?
I mean, we've had 10 events that are stroke play events, and 6 have gone to extra holes. Ash Buhai a 3rd at the par 5 up 1 when we come back. Up by 1, a 3rd shot at the par 5 for Ashley Buhai.
Not a really straightforward little pitch shot. It has the upslope short of the green to deal with and needs to land it on top, and it will be working away from her and to her left. A gorgeous touch.
Tight lie with all the pressure, knowing where she is in this tournament here. That was really well done.
Leanne Pace with husband David Buhai. Think about the trajectory of women's golf in South Africa. Sally Little, the first great player from South Africa, won a couple of major championships. The last, which was 1988.
Hit that just beautifully. Just a little bit underneath it to control the release, and it's hard to watch. It's hard as somebody really invested and interested in a player. It's much easier to have the club in your hand and to be in control.
Leanne Pace was the next winner from South Africa. That was more than 25 years after Sally Little's last of her 15 victories. And then there wasn't another winner from South Africa till last August. And then we had two that month, with Ashley Buhai winning the AIG Women's Open and Paula Rito winning in Canada. Brianna Doe with her fourth shot here at the par 5.
Her sand wedge came up just short, just sat down right at the front of the green, leaving her a good 25-footer for birdie. And she just couldn't conjure up any magic on this backside today, at least down the stretch.
After a career low 64, Bangladesh at 72. That'll help her in terms of the reshuffle later in the season, but doesn't get her into next week. And now Buhai, who hit one of the shots of the season last year, the bunker shot on the 4th playoff hole, with her husband David watching at Muirfield. It's a Mike Patterson, husband of Tanya Patterson, Ashley's caddies. You've got all kinds of couples here watching with great interest. This to really put the pressure on Hyo-Joo Kim. If this goes in, Hyo-Joo will have to eagle to tie.
She's just been beaming with a big smile since hitting that pitch shot, but she knows her work's not done. Desperately wants to get this one in and going to take her time with it and go through her regular routine.
Been working on keeping the pace up on these Poa annua greens, inside left with some pace. Distraction from a bug of some kind there.
Ashley Buhai with a closing birdie after opening with 4 of her first 5 holes. A round of 65 for the second straight day. And she's going to force Hyo-Joo Kim to do something magical.
She has just been so solid with her putter today. Beautiful stroke after beautiful stroke.
David loves it.
And she hit 16 greens, which is a lot of greens, but 29 putts.
So a hug for Tanya Patterson's caddy, but not for David yet. I'm going to save that. That bunker shot she hit on the 4th playoff hole at Muirfield to beat NG Chun. One of the shots of the season, recent major championship history, and now Hyo-Joo Kim. Her second shot.
She got a little drop of adrenaline from making that putt in the last. Really pummeled this drive out here for her. Only has 212 left to the hole.
What do you think? What do you think 3 is going to do? You think 3 is too much still?
This one? This one?
I think so too with this one. Yeah. I think so.
It's not really short.
5, you'd have to hit it. I mean, you'd have to hit it low. The left side will fall off, so you want it coming down on the TV tower. Okay?
Probably 6 to 10 yards of wind right now. Just making sure that that wind is still up there when she hits this, because I think she's kind of thinking that she might need to just take a little bit off this shot. Has a really smooth swing, and then it's starting right at the flag.
Took a little bit too much off of it, Karen. She's going to have to pitch that in.
The short game is sublime. It'll need to be there. So Ashley just double checking. Tanya Patterson. I'm sure that adds up to 65. This for a 4th win in the last 10 months around the world for Ashley Buhai.
You said it, playing the best golf of her career. It's been impressive to watch. And she came out as the young phenom, and took her a long time to really get that footing, especially in the LPGA Tour. But what a year it has been, calendar year it has been for Ashley Buhai.
Speaking of phenoms, this woman was just 19 years old.
Please welcome to the
She
18th
shot
green,
61 in the opening round of the 2014 Oregon Championship. And yet she had to flip a deficit on the 72nd hole with none other than the great Kari Webb. Kari made bogey. Yoju birdied. And at 19, she was a major champion. Contrast that with Buhai, who struggled for so long with her confidence with her game at times. So we have to look at Ashley Buhai, maybe a bit of inspiration.
and let's have a big welcome, Yoju
27 years old now. 5 times a winner. We talked about all the places she's won. Not to mention 14 wins on her home tour for so many years, the KLPGA, including 4 majors on that circuit. Straight hitter, great putter, great short game. She'll need to conjure up one of her best ever here. That big board, she knows where she stands. Is Danny Holmquist going to go first here, Karen, you think? Or is it Yoju?
I think probably on the angle it might be Danny. But Hyoju's ball, if you were just looking at being even, is a little farther away, I think. Very similar though, distance-wise. So Hyoju looks like she's going to go first. Ball's a little bit above her feet here. Very clean line on this fairway. That little raised slope in front of the green. I think you just have to land it on top of that. Got to be so precise here with everything, Morgan.
Especially when you're trying to hole it here.
Exactly.
Victory for Ashley Buhai. She wins the 2023 ShopRite LPGA Classic.
Good job.
Well done.
Ding. See, you two didn't come out this time. You two didn't come out.
Valiant effort there from Hyoju Kim. That was pretty cool.
Serves at 15 and 16 just to give herself a chance. Birdies at 17, nearly an eagle at 18. Third shot for Danny Holmquist.
Spin.
Talked about how up and down would really break her out of that tie for 5th. That's going to make her work a good bit more difficult here.
Here it was again. Had to hole it to force a play.
Action to the left. It looked to go forward. That's
pace
okay,
hasn't
though.
played a whole lot, but for her to be here to watch Ashley Buhai win again, special moment. So third last week in Korea for Hyo-Joo Kim, and second this week back in the States.
She just didn't have her best stuff. A few squirrely swings down the end. Karen said maybe a little bit of fatigue there. Coming off of playing in Korea last week, some jet lag, some just general fatigue, being in contention here.
So you have a 7-way tie for fifth, of which Danny Holmquist is a part. If this goes in, is a 2-way tie for fourth.
Those are the kind of things that we talk about, Grant, and we are very much aware of on our broadcast, and so are our viewers. But when you're in the middle of this and you're playing, you're not thinking about that. You've got to just be thinking about this putt. You want to make it, and if you don't make it, you're going to leave it so close that there's nothing to worry about.
It's a $20,000 putt right here.
New Jersey golf fans, how about a big round of applause for all of our golfers here this weekend.
City, and a career best finish.
Danny,
And ladies and gentlemen, don't go
rough
anywhere.
Start today, but what a way to finish there. She'll remember that putt for a long time.
Had the lead since day one and really stood tall. But it is Ashley Buhai who continues to rack up the victories all over the world, and she is with Kay Cockrell.
That's right. We were just sitting here, and you're saying how sweet it is to win again. It took you a long time to kind of get used to being in that winner's circle, and now you're reeling off 4 wins worldwide in the last year. At what point did you feel like it was going to be your day today? Maybe that big putt at 5?
I mean, that putt on 5, obviously I got off such a good start, and the putt on 5 was a hallelujah, and it's like, well, those things need to happen for you to win, obviously. But at no point did I think it was mine until now, until it was really confirmed. But I did really well to stay mentally in it. You know, I stuck to my processes. I didn't get ahead of myself and think of the outcome at all. And I just trusted the one thing I was trying to do in my golf swing, and hopefully that could take care of it.
I couldn't help but feel sort of the same vibe when you were winning the AIG at Muirfield. This is sort of a mini version of links golf. Your tempo was so gorgeous today, and those iron shots. I mean, how were you able to execute so many tap-ins for birdie today?
Yeah, I do love the wind, and I think, you know, my tempo does help me in the wind. I'm able to keep it smooth, and I had those feelings, the same feelings as I did at Muirfield, except I was able to hold it down the stretch a little better, which was, you know, something that experience only comes from experience. And I've put myself in that position 4 times really in the last 8 months, and every time it gets, you know, you get a little bit more comfortable in that position.
How would you describe where you're at with your game, both mentally and physically, particularly considering some big tournaments are coming up with the KPMG in a couple weeks, the U.S. Women's Open, and so on and so on?
Yeah, it's definitely the best golf I've ever played in my career, but I think we've found a good balance. You know, I say I'm on the older side on tour nowadays, one of the veterans, but I think between everything I'm doing, from my putting, working with a putting coach, my swing coach, and the mental side, you know, when I put them all together, I know that I can compete and have a chance to win. Obviously, it's difficult to do every week, but I keep trying.
They say the ultimate compliment is making it look easy, and you sure did make it look easy today. Congratulations on LPGA win number 2. Grant?
Well, there were a lot of highlights, Morgan, from Ashley Buhai today. This was at the first. Remember, she began 3 shots behind Danny Holmquist.
That's a good place to start. Nothing This first hole is one that every player looks at as a birdie opportunity, and she was able to take advantage.
And then the second hole, which is as tough as they come here at the big course.
The opposite of a birdie opportunity, like the opening hole, the hardest hole on the golf course all week. And she would hit it to kick-in range.
So after a par at 3, this second at the 4th.
just saw that gorgeous tempo that she spoke about there in her interview that really does help her in the wind when it's breezy, swing easy, and she did that all day long.
Rolled that in for birdie, and then at 5, this was the hallelujah moment she was talking about.
Might have gotten away with one there, but as she said, that's what it sometimes takes to win. A couple bounces to go your way.
You really loved this approach. You took
Sit
a little
down.
something off.
Sit.
It's so firm, especially straight that wind there on the 8th hole. Got more spin than anybody. Hit it again to kicking range.
Yeah, she actually got caught by Hyo-Joo Kim after she bogeyed 11. But then Kim 3-putted 12, and Buhai did this at 13.
I love how she didn't let that bogey on 11 slow her down whatsoever.
So the lead was back to 2. She's up by the green into the par 5 18th. Not an easy shot.
It's something that she and her coach Doug Wood worked on a lot coming into this week. Different types of chips around the greens. There's a lot of different options here, and with the nerves to be able to get up and down from that situation, just tremendous.
Husband David Buhai, or countrywoman Leanne Pace looking on. And these are the projected CME standings. Buhai moves up to 4th as she continues to put together good, solid weeks.
Go over there. You ready?
Last we saw
She just
him,
wants
he
to
was
talk to Mom and
crawling out
Dad.
from under the grandstand,
We
chasing
already
down
did it all.
one of
No, we already
his
spoke to him.
player, John Henley 6.
You did it. Good. You.
Want some water?
Thanks. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
I didn't get it for you.
I didn't see it.
She showed no emotion all day,
Yeah.
and then with the people who mean so much to her.
I'll call you after. We gotta
After
go do.
getting the job done, not thinking about it, not taking it as a done deal until the very last shot. What a day for Ashley Buhai.
Incredible. Middle of the night in South Africa. And, couldn't go to bed with Ash trying to win for the 2nd time on the LPGA Tour. But again, won the Australian Open, won the South African Open. Big wins. Now she's got another one. Coming up next, it's final round coverage of the Korn Ferry Tour's BMW Charity Pro-Am. And then we're back with you for more LPGA Tour action from Grand Rapids, Michigan. First round coverage of the Meyer LPGA Classic, Thursday at 3 o'clock Eastern Time. Thanks to everyone who made it happen this week. Producer Jesse West, Director Brian Hennessy, and our entire team from Morgan Pressel, Tom Abbott, Kay Cockrell, Karen Stupples, and all of us. I'm Grant Boone. Ashley Buhai, 222 starts to get her first win. Only took her 18 more to get her second. She's a winner again, and out she comes and into the winner's circle. Ashley Buhai, a winner again on the LPGA Tour.